Saludos people of the internet, this is FlameMDQ and let's talk about the lore. Fatal Fury's City of the World just dropped his last chapter of Season 1, Mr. James Peak, which of course we all been waiting. Because he's popular? Hell no. Because he's in the intro to who clearly was Mai Heilein, sister of Kain, mother of Rock Howard, wife of Kiss Howard. But now that Season 1 is complete, let's see what we learned so far on lore. I'm not used to do this kind of content, but hey, I wait 20 years for this, so I don't care how broken is Hotaru, Kain, and Hokutomaru right now. I'm here for the lore. Competitive? Sure! Like if I live in a place with local scene at all. So I'll be talking about what we learn per chapter. So, for example, if I learn something about rock, could be in Terry part, because we learned that when we unlock Terry stuff. Also, I'm avoiding victory quotes, because I can't access to them, and even if you think some of them are here on YouTube, there's a few that only triggers on arcade runs. Let's begin. Rock Howard. After he joins Kain at the end of Mark of the Wolves, team up with his nephew to recover Mari, which Kain tells in the last game is actually alive. And that's true, because not only the intro of the game, but at the end of his arcade, he fought versus Terry. Then Mr. Big shows up with Mari, but is attacked by Shaq Turner, leader of the local gang Neo Black Cats. Mari got hit, or something that doesn't matter in the direction, yada yada, and Fallen Rock shows up, a possessive Geese looking Rock Howard. A fight later, we see a memory about a young Geese talking to his son, and Geese goes in a way like, yeah, I'm not a good father, but I'm decent enough to don't put you two in the mafia life. Hug his mom, and Rock rides his bike and goes to God knows where, say goodbye to Terry on the train and catch his signature cap. For the conversations and the EoST, there are some issues here. Outside the EoST, which was just a charming bonding with Terry, in one conversation, it is revealed that Terry adopted Rock. Okay, we know that. But from an orphanage. Yep, Terry didn't know the kid was Geese's son. He figured it out way later while he grew up. Quite a surprise, eh? Terry Bogard. In this point of view, we see what Rock didn't while fighting inside his mind against Fallen Rock, but with a small difference in the name of cinema. And Rock almost died falling from the tower just like his old man. But Terry here shows to catch Rock and Billy catch them both. Terry leaves Southtown without saying anything, and that's where Rock catch him for a see ya later. In his EoST, not much to see. We fought versus Nightmare Geese and have a bonding moment with Rock. And finally, in the conversations, when Rock knew that Terry accidentally killed Geese, well, it was a kid, so a crazy overflow on emotions like rage and tried to attack Terry. It's not too much the story of Terry here, but it's like watching the scene from another perspective. Vox Reaper, one of the two newcomers. Vox, that's not how you know what, never mind, do what you want. Vox was raised on the streets and trained by Grant on dark karate. Yeah, I say that quote. He loves jazz and looks like he can play the trumpet. Almost on most of the conversation we have, he sounds creepy by accident, like even when he don't want to sound like a murderer. On his arcade we see a fight to the death versus Kain to be replacement of Grant, lose by the script, and Kain says, nah, you cool. While in EoST, it's mostly like a callback from his past on the streets and his spot with Grant. On conversations, there's funny stuff to add to his vibe, but that's pretty much it. He's the new Grant. Preecha, the second newcomer, the academic genius. Preecha. Yeah, never mind. On her arcane run, she just wants to prove a bit herself, but mostly learn meeting new fighters. she doesn't care that much for becoming the ultimate fighter. She really loves being the science nerd. On her final fight is versus Tizoc, who shows her wrestling is awesome. Then for some reason, Fallen Rock, and when it's all over, she crashed her cool on the place and tells Show that was fun, too much stress, I go for vacations. So yeah, she can keep her cool a bit, then suddenly full panic. Her EoST is one of the funniest of them all, with a ghost following her the entire thing while she tries to figure out why, what she wants, etc. Not telling her, but in every conversation she shows up, she clearly tries her best to be a social person. But most people think she just wants others to show their techniques. Kain R. Heilein. Kain, you don't have to be standing up. Yeah, whatever. So, the final boss of the last game. We learn mostly about his past. He was close to Grant and Mari. Also, Grant's name is Abel. Duh. And they were really poor when were their childs. So that's the reason of his entire now personality. And how now he's closer also to Vox and Rock, with a family bond on Rock, mostly showing on EoST and a professional friendship with Vox. Also, he throws the crap out of Rock with a murder prank. And in one of his conversations, he considered Hokutomaru a long threat, saying he's doing a vigilante the shop, warning about, if you keep messing with this, someday we'll have to fight for real. But if you're wondering about the entire whole idea of making Southtown like a country of Kain, yeah, we see you in the next game, maybe. Marco Rodriguez. Bro, you can just sit, you know? No need to do that. You okay? You okay? Yeah, he's okay. He's still a comic relief character, and doesn't make my dislike for Kyokugen characters any better. Anyway, his arcade mode is the same, but weird? In here, same as last time. Someone stole the gym signs, joins the tournament, it was Vox, get it back, screams a lot, and Rio calls him, hey, good job! And then Robert picks up the phone, yo, Shuri and I have to leave, so she's about to take a plane, bye. And we see Shuri leaving, yeah, I don't bet for her as DLC. And then a bunch of people waiting to join the new gym. And don't ask about whatever happened on Margot's walls. It shows an overkill respect for all the Kyokugen family and the dojo, but putting himself really low. On his conversation we see he's not used to talk to women, and on the EoST he falls from his tower and survives because the hair on his chest. Ugh. At this point we can officially make a society of people falling from that place. Tizoc, also known as Griffon Mask. Yeah, that's his name in Japanese. Yeah, you don't want to see neither? Okay. Tizoc is not a comic relief as Marco, but his story is also the same. He loses against Vox on the streets, shine for me, goes to the tournament, beats Billy, beats Vox, now again a hero who motivates kids. The EoST is just charming. He goes for a stroll, walking here and there, checking gyms outside his personal, and after feeling weak a few times, tries to get a meal of meat without luck. Till face Preecha, Show calls Preecha, handles cell phone to Tizoc, hey, this is my student, be nice with her, she's a good girl. And Tizoc, who just want to eat a good stick alone, now have to go with the nerd, but is actually fine with that. On his conversations, looks like most people think he's amazing, and Kevin is literally his fan. B.Jenet. We already know Jennet is a rich girl who hires her goons, which now that word didn't age well. Anyway, the B stands, probably, for Burn, which everyone in the game looks like they know is one of the most richest families ever. She trolls Marco to join her crew and he almost falls for the prank because he has 0 maidens. And on her case, she tries to help Grant with the medic of her crew to give him a proper treatment. Suddenly, in one of the conversations, which you unlock only after beating the arcade, Kain confirms Grant dies. She's really friendly with literally everyone in the game and also tries to raise everyone. On her EoST, she checks some graffitis on the streets. Looks for the artist. It was Terry. Yep, Terry is a street artist. He gets some extra money that way. And she asks him for a commission to paint the submarine with something cool. As I were here, there's a shock on the comments about stages in the game about Terry saying he pays every time he travels on train, but because he likes to go in the outside part, everyone thinks he doesn't pay. Gato Futaba. Gato, there's literally a cheer on your right, whatever. If these two stickers doesn't say it, he loves Itokatsu, the pet of her sister Hotaru. Well, so between EoST, arcades, conversation, etc., it shows that he really cares about the safety of his sister. A lot. Okay, it's quite similar to the original, but this time his father doesn't show up. And Grant show up and he's like, then what if I say I killed your mother? And Hotaru shows up to stop him and say, he's freaking dying, stop. And Gato says, screw this, let's go back home. Sister. Yay. Oh, by the way, if you're still like, why the heck he's with the eyes closed all the time? It's a call from Garou, Mark of the Wolf, and on the ending, the father of Gato saves Kain and hurt his eyes. It's just got some injuries, but he can actually see probably. It's just got an injury, and he never did the treatment. His EoST is him falling unconscious because of starving, and a girl helps him, and it's all an allegory about his situation with his sister. All his conversations are actually really meh. Kevin Ryan. Straight to the point. Freeman is alive and with a new look. Also, Blue Mary have a new look, so she doesn't look like Android 18 that much. On his staircase, all this shows up, and Marky almost shoot a gun to try to save Mary, or kill her just like the last time that happened. So, quite story for the little kid. And on his duty, it's just a glorified mirror match against a fake Kevin doing chaos on the city. Also on the chaos, Jennet tries to recruit him for the crew, and funny mention about how Mark is more like a friend, an equal rather than a kid or a son like. Hotaru Futaba. Well, little guy is doing a lot outside of being top 1 in the current meta. First off, on her arcade, she beats the crap out of Preecha, then her brother, then her dad. Yes, Daddy Gekigao shows up and tells the actual story of this family mess. So, an assassin was sent to kill Gao to his house. But in the middle of the fight, the mother was checking on him and got Gao in the crossfire. Gao leaves Gato and Hotaru chasing this person, and he said this person / organization, gang, people, whatever it was, never bothered them again or anyone else. Then they got back to leap the tree together. Also, Gekigao have a really detailed model, the art in the art. You can notice him like they really want you to remember how he looks. You know, a freaking scorpion tattoo on his right arm. Ex-gangster? Possibly. On the other side, on EoST, she also have like his brother, an allegory but with Martins. Sales, I think, is said in the translation. And she hang around with Rock, their besties, but in like those old animes when they get shy for being in the same spot for longer than 90 seconds. The whole lines are more mature. They want to show Hotaru more determined and less childish. But then you got cute lines with like Gato trying to be more like a big brother, taking her for food, but Hotaru doesn't like spicy food or any kind of booze, so Gato at least remembers she have a sweet tooth. And for a bit extra, Jennet is quite friendly with her, same with Mai. Girl power. Hokutomaru. I'm pretty sure I sit on chairs small like that back in the day. Totally not Naruto child becomes a vigilante, protecting the streets of Southtown. Here's your new Batman, guys. And even when tries to keep a really good attitude, I mean, look at the kid trips. He's pretty much on a quest to prop himself. Quite interesting, but not enough, because this arcade mode looks pretty much the same as the first game. Ugh. The EoST is all about him being invited to a gala party with B.Jenet, a real one. So we got a pic of him with a suit after a whole day of people teaching him how to talk to women. Pretty fly for a ninja guy. Oh yeah, Jennet totally activates his brain cells all at once. For now, he got 2 voice lines with Jennet on the whole conversations. But one is also with Mai, where Mai tells stories about Hokutomaru as a kid, doing chaos like a mother telling embarrassing stories about her kid, and Jennet kidnapped Hokutomaru to make him spill all the memories. Mai Shiranui. Rocking a new office, she's now the head honcho of the Shiranui clan. Her arcade mode isn't that much of a thing, except we got a callback from a character, Sokaku Mochizuki. I always like this guy hat. So, Sokaku shows up for the scrolls and says, "Nah, I'm tired of the war between our clans, and hell might destroy the scrolls." Sokaku can totally come back if you ask me. And Andy shows up to act like a proper warfare for once. I guess my fans are eating after 20 years of comic relief. While on EoST, it's more about the Shiranui clan, when other ninja shows up with some random thing that I even forget how Mai was. And Mai was, "I should kill you because that's the Shiranui law." But screw that, I'm the boss now, wanna work with us? Also, let's go shopping! All her conversations are with the other girls of the game, more girl power. One interesting is with Preecha, when she asks why a scholar wants to learn how to fight. And it's a long story short for, I see a dude pull out a hurricane out of his fist. Billy Kane. Yeah, that's how you say that surname. It's not Kane, it's Kane. We were so not ready for this. First, Billy is now the kingpin of Howard Connections. Way to go, Bandana Boy. But the lore is bigger than that. The whole scrolls were mere replicas, but Geese leaves the order to burn them to Billy. And he cannot do it because how much thing happens for these things. And then the universe shows up on Billy's face. This one's tricky, hold together guys. On his minor sounding, suddenly shows up Tairyu. Shin Tairyu. Yeah, related to these two. Unlike them, this one couldn't reincarnate the same way. So, Fallen Rock is actually rock possessed by the power of the Tairyu's influence, becoming this third Shin. So, Rock is the third Shin. And the reason this happened specifically to Rock, and not Geese or Krauser, is because of a generation thing. But unlike some crazy villains, this wasn't the plan of Tairyu. That was a coincidence because of the generation things. These three, the Shins, are cursed by their father, Oryu, to repeat this fate. Tairyu wants to rebel against Oryu, just like Rock with Geese. This caused this chain reaction. I said, no, I'm too lazy to edit that now. Next is the EoST. He becomes quote friends quote with Terry, but it's more like he tolerated him a bit more after having to spend the entire day together. And he almost fell from Geese Tower. Welcome to the club, bro. He also got a really long conversation with Vox about the past, kids in the streets, and a little kid who tries to kill Master Geese many years ago. He also tries to hire Preecha for Howard Connection, but she refuses, because they are not exactly as the good guys. King Dong Hwan. You know, I'm sure L from Then Now we see your stance and think something about your back, bro. This is sadly a short and boring one. Arcade mode is Daddy Kim asks Show to ask Preecha to fight versus Dong to make him go serious on a fight. Kim noticed his son is actually good for a slacker attitude and he's really proud of him. Yeah, that's it. And in the EoST, Dong wakes up and say, let's see all these cool restaurants all over the city. Tizoc team on the trip, and for some ungodly reason, Kim Dad makes the entire city look for Dong to fight him because the whole slacker thing. I'm serious, this is all. His conversations are with Mai and Preecha, and aren't that much of a thing. But hey, how funny I guess. Testfully with Mai, we don't notice he was talking to Mai. I don't know, maybe an outfit thing. And then with Preecha, who tells him to stop being a cringe Johnny Bravo. Looks like Preecha cared for him quite a bit. Salvatore Ganacci. He's a cool dude, and we see the new look for Ducking. His arcade is all about making a new song, get inspired, and write the partiture literally in the ground. Yo, you watching to the camera? Dude? Hey. You know what? Stay there. The EoST is all about organizing a concert, and what could he add? And pretty much this pretty rad final screen. Oh, and I must say, he had the most funny victory quotes in the entire game. So, bravo, Mr. Ganacci. Salvatore. Cristiano Ronaldo. You know what? I give him points. Doing this looks pretty damn cool. Also, I still have a brain rot from a shampoo commercial from when I was a teen about him. You maybe know that one. So, he's still the Cristiano Ronaldo super football star, a celebrity. The whole arcade is he joins the tournament in the off-season to improve his skill in a similar area. Yeah, something like that. And the EoST is a curious adventure on the city trying to recover a ball for a kid who have a way older brother with an attitude of, "No, my brother don't like football, and that's not how things work here." A lot of inspirational quotes in victory quotes, both conversations, yada yada. Oh yeah, and Rock plays for the first time ever football, and Terry already did it before, but he didn't know the rules at all. Andy Bogard. After 20 years, the brother finally has something else to say besides training, and adds something to the sentence. The arcade is he comes back to Southtown to fight versus Terry and stop having an inferiority complex. Yay! And just like the arcade with Mai, he looks like he finally thinking with the heart. The EoST is a sidetracking about he trying to search for Hokutomaru, you know, to keep looking for the boy. But the entire thing is, he found a dog. Andy is scared of dogs. He tries his best to be friendly with the puppy. And he didn't make it. Walk around the entire city having adventure, meets with Hotaru, and then after every gang tries to steal the dog, Billy shows up and be like, "Hey, that's my sister Lily's dog, but he hates me, so he never did. We fight for no particular reason, and that's it. Have a funny conversation with Hokutomaru and bonding with Terry." Ken Masters. The arcade and EoST is all about Ken searching for clues of JP without any conclusion, but we all hear about this one. In a post-credit scene, when Ken is leaving, Terry's like, "You know what will be cool? Metro City versus Southtown." And tease more than an ex-girlfriend before doing weird posts on social media. Jeez, they really want some kind of Capcom vs SNK3. In the EoST, everyone suddenly turns evil with psycho power and he hang out with random people at the time, especially Preecha. The conversations aren't that interesting only, but it shows that Ken a bit more on the actual Ken having a bad time these days. Joe Higashi. Yo, you don't want to use a chair? No reason to... Oh, glasses. Yeah, the glasses. Not so deep, but quite fun thing. The arcade is he teaming up with Chen Xin-san to make his own movie, The Legend of Joe Higashi. The entire thing is not that wow at all, but it's funny how Preecha sabotaged the edition to add subliminal lines into the movie and make everyone start screaming "Heck yeah!" randomly. He even got a statue. The EoST is quite more charming, but even if I'm a Preecha player, you will notice how much the devs love her. So, the EoST is a setup of Preecha to make show back into Southtown for a surprise party in honor of the movie. And the title is just Show fighting everyone he came across because he's quite famous in the fighting scene, and how Preecha battles the tenacity of Show to make her a disciple. Outside that, we got some insight of the glasses. The reason is quite obvious. Preecha gave him them. and Sho didn't want this thing to get dusty in a box and never use it, so he was happy to use the gift of her first student. It's clear that Preecha respects a lot Sho, but in a more friendly way than the other Bondings Masters doing in the game. Sho also have a commentary with Hokutomaru to a duo fight with Andy, and the other conversation is Preecha telling Sho that he sucks at teaching specific. She should learn because she's a genius. And no, she doesn't call herself that. That's actually Sho. Oh, and this meme. Seriously, Vox, this face some meme that's an emote on the Fatal Fury Discord. Chun Li. The arcade mode is a body cop with Blue Mary, and they should find Ken, who's the wanted criminal. Duh. And for some reason, it's the first time Mai and Chun Li see each other, like a literal first impression. They add a whole post-credits, but it's just a friendship bonding, unlike the Ken Terry thing. So, they are now besties. But they're even more besties with Hotaru. Chun Li hang around the entire EoST with her, just like in Street Fighter 6, Mei got a Special Fight vs Kimberly. Here, Chun Li got one vs Hotaru. I mean, both use Kung Fu. Chun Li was about to literally get her a sister for living if it wasn't for Hotaru still having a family. A kinda broken one, but a family. The conversations are even more Hotaru and Mai. And finally, Mr. Big. First off, his conversations are everything except interesting. But the story? Oh, this all is quite a big deal. So, Mr. Big used to work for Keith Howard. We learned this back in the day in Art of Fighting 2. Okay, but Mr. Big wanted to be big. So he actually made a whole fake out to make like Mari and Rock die in an accident, with the idea of kidnapping both and use them as bait against Keith. That's quite a plan, but didn't come out properly. First, only Mari was in the scene, not Rock. So she was kidnapped, and that's how Rock ended up with Terry. Well, still got Gee's wife. We can work with this. And then learns Mari was under a terrible sick. And then Geese dies. Amazing. So that was 10 years ago at least. And Mr. B takes care of Mari for the entire time, hiding her for 10 years and paying the entire makeup treatment till she gets better. Because, yeah, if she actually dies, this was worthless. But to the present, Mr. Big shows Kain that her sister Mari is still alive and wants to trade for Gee's legacies to take the over Showdown. That's pretty much the EoST, this entire explanation. Now, the arcade, on the other hand, after the entire tournament, Mr. Big comes and tells Mari to leave. Bye, that was fun, go back to your family. Yeah, just like that. Then, he goes to an orphanage to donate things. Oh, okay, this keeping is also a golden heart? Maybe. You should say maybe. Or maybe he's freaking tired because he's like 60 at this point. And after that wholesome reveal, we see a paper, a case file to be more exact, of Lonet Sakazaki, burning. Mother of Ryo and Shuri, wife of Takuma, dead in a car accident. Did he also kill that woman? He was feeling guilty of that time and thinking about the lie of Mari. And not even a second later, the Neo Black Cats attack him with a saw. Oh, we find you, Mr. Big. Now you can defend yourself. And Mr. Big just pull out a freaking bow and blow himself up. And with a last message, take care. He is dead? Probably. But that was a roller coaster of lore. Oof. Well, that was all the chapters in Season 1 of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Thank you all for being here this entire adventure. If you want to hear the conversations of each chapter, all of them are on my shorts. On Japanese with subs on English. And in TikTok with English voices and with subs on Spanish. And that's it for the lore so far. But we don't know what the future holds on Season 2. See you on the next one. Hasta luego.